So, it's happening. The character who literally stopped time and launched the entire game's story, yeah, her. She might finally be stepping back into the spotlight in version 5.7. It feels like something's shifting behind the scenes, a calm before the storm. If you've been following the patterns, this moment's been building for a long time. And it all starts with one detail most people almost missed. And no, this isn't another throwaway reference buried in flavor text. The leaks are loud this time. And what's even wilder, there's visual proof backing it up. Not just speculation, actual new asset files with effects so familiar they'll give you chills if you've ever watched the Genshin opening cutscene. You remember the beginning, the twin siblings floating in space, that woman surrounded by strange floating cubes, warping reality like it's origami? That's the sustainer of heavenly principles. She never gave us a name, never gave us answers, just appeared, separated the twins, and disappeared. But now we might finally meet her again. Several credible leakers have spotted something new in the 5.7 files. Leakers found a new scene object in the 5.7 beta files labeled exactly as a scene object HP teleport. And yes, the HP almost certainly stands for heavenly principles. That alone is enough to raise eyebrows. But it's the texture that really got people talking. Spiked, red rift-like visuals, almost identical to the prologue's sky-tearing energy. This isn't recycled from older patches either. The texture ID and visual style are completely new and only found in the 5.7 dev build. But wait, it gets deeper. This same patch, 5.7, is also bringing back Dainsleif. Now, if you've been paying attention to the main lore beats, you know Dainsleif doesn't show up for random fetch quests. Every time he enters the story, we get closer to the abyss, to Kenria, to the twins, to the truth. So if his return overlaps with these visual effects linked to the sustainer, you know it's not a coincidence. According to leaked files, Dainsleif isn't just getting dialogue either. He now has an actual profile icon and combat animations. Yep, this could mean one of two things. Either we'll control him briefly in a quest, like we've done with Raiden or Nouvelette before, or he's about to be fully playable. Maybe not right away, but soon. And honestly, it's about time. Let's zoom out for a second. Sumeru focused on divine wisdom. Fontaine tackled judgment and truth. But with Natlan approaching its climax, the story's clearly moving toward bigger cosmic systems. Celestia, the Heavenly Order, and now, the unknown god herself. If 5.7 really marks the beginning of that transition, then this could be the first real breakaway from the Archon-centric structure we've followed for years. And that's huge. The unknown god isn't like Venti or Zhongli. She doesn't have a vision. She doesn't use bursts or elemental skills. She manipulates space. She halts time. She literally breaks the rules of the world we've been trying to understand since day one. And that makes her the most powerful being we've ever seen in Genshin. So, is she going to be playable? Probably not. At least not yet. Her power level is off the charts. She doesn't fit into any vision system. And if she's still meant to serve as an antagonist, it wouldn't make sense lore-wise to drop her into the roster just yet. But never say never. Hoyoverse already turned Scaramouche into Wanderer. They've done full character redemptions before. If the Sustainer, who some now believe is named Asmoday, turns out to be less of a villain and more of a cosmic enforcer, maybe, just maybe, her day will come. Meanwhile, Dainsleif? His playability isn't a theory, it's confirmed. Way back in 2020, miHoYo released his drip marketing art. Character card, encrypted element, the full 5-star treatment. That's the same rollout every major character gets before release. The only question has been, when? And now we've got more than just speculation. In 5.7's beta files, he's fully loaded. He's got a full animation rig, skill tree references, and a new UI icon added to the 5.7 character preview backend. This isn't just cosmetic. It's the same level of data we saw before Wanderer or Al-Haytham dropped. Whether we play as him briefly in a quest or he shows up on a banner later, it's happening. And it's happening soon. Let's be real. Version 5.7 might be remembered as more than just another content update. This could be the turning point. The moment the story finally circles back to where everything started. The twins, the Sustainer, Celestia, the war before the Archons. Everything about this patch, from the visuals to the names in the files to Dainsleif's return, all of it points to something massive. Whether or not we see her face to face, the signs are clear. She's coming back. Okay. So now let's talk about version 5.8, because this patch is going to be surprisingly exciting in its own way. If you've been waiting for a summer event and a little bit of fun before the next big region drops, 5.8 is exactly that. And yeah, we're getting new skins for Yelan and Bennett, which is honestly kind of wild when you realize just how strong these characters are. This info comes from Team China and Shiroa, both of whom have consistently provided accurate early information in the past. So, while it's technically not official until Hoyo themselves post it, the source is credible enough that it's worth talking about. And really, Yelan and Bennett, two of the most universally used characters in the game, finally getting summer skins. It's about time. Yelan's getting a summer outfit that's probably going to blow up instantly if it's paid. But there's more to this than just cosmetics. These skins usually show up during summer flagship events, and version 5.8 is lining up exactly with that tradition. Hoyoverse has done this before. 1.6 gave us Gian and Barbara, 2.8 had Fischl and Diluc, 3.8 introduced Klee and Kaeya, and 4.8 added Nilu and Carrara. So 5.8 continuing this with Bennett and Yelan makes perfect sense. But here's the real question. Are they getting banner reruns too? Because characters that get summer skins almost always get some kind of event participation or rerun spotlight in the same patch. So even though no banner leaks have confirmed it yet, it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see either of them pop up in the event plot, or both. And now, shifting away from events and cosmetics, we've got something much bigger. Fresh leaks pointing toward the roster of characters that might become playable in the upcoming Nod Krai chapter. These aren't just fan theories either. Multiple sources that some of the most anticipated names in Genshin's lore could be dropping soon after Natlan wraps up. Durin, the legendary dragon tied to Mondstadt's ancient lore, is rumored to arrive as a playable animo character in version 6.1. In 6.2, we might finally see the debut of Columbina, a cryptic and eerie harbinger who's been looming in the background of the Fatui storyline. And if the timing holds, she could be our first major post-Natlan antagonist turned playable unit. Varka, the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, is expected to appear sometime after version 6.4, also wielding an emo. And in version 6.5 or 6.6, the long-hyped Dottore might finally be released, this time as an Electro character. Now, according to trusted leaker DK2, there are reportedly no current plans to make Dottore playable during the Nod Krai arc, and that's worth noting. DK2 has a strong track record for roadmap-level insights. But even with that statement, other insiders have pointed out that Dottore has had playable files in the backend for a long time, and even passed early design checks, much like Albedo before his debut. So while he may not be on the immediate schedule, his playability is far from off the table. But all of this should be taken for what it is, unconfirmed leaks. None of the release timelines or character kits have been officially acknowledged by Hoyoverse, and things could still change. However, the sources behind these claims have been consistent and fairly accurate in the past, which makes them worth talking, especially when they line up this well with where the story seems to be heading next. There's still a lot we don't know, and some of this could change overnight, but even the speculation is enough to keep things exciting. Whether a few of these drop next patch or much later, it feels like something big is building. Let me know in the comments if you're hyped. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I will meet you in the next one.